Hey everyone, it's Callie Teegardin coming live out of my home office in Sugar Land, Texas tonight. And I wanted to come to you with a story I posted yesterday about the double rainbow that I saw. And I want to talk a little bit more about this. I wanted to talk to you about this concept that it's been in my life for quite a while, and I haven't shared a lot about it, but has definitely fueled me where I'm at, and something that I just wanted to share. I'm compelled to share. So, is your good life getting in the way of your great life, and what does that mean? So I want to go back to last night, and I was sitting on my back patio Sunday evening. In the past Sunday evenings, I would spend a lot up at my parents' house in Brenham when they were still alive. Their friends would come all over. I also remember even growing up, we always had the neighbors over on Sunday night. Sunday night was a night that my parents loved to entertain. My mom was a huge entertainer. She didn't know a stranger. She loved everyone she met. People just naturally gravitated towards her and talked to her. And so she would have Sunday night dinner at the ranch. And I spent many of my Sunday nights, especially over the last couple years after I went through my divorce and after my dad died, spending time there. And so last night I was sitting out on my back patio and I was thinking about my parents. My new house, I have this amazing huge back patio with a table, a sofa area. It kind of reminds me of the one at Bahia. I am blessed to have an amazing view. And I was thinking about my parents, and I had a prompting, right? And a prompting is that inner thought that you should do something. And I had this prompting that I should call their friends that used to come over for Sunday dinner, David and Damaris. And so I called Damaris on my phone. I was sitting on the couch outside, and the phone call wouldn't go through. And on a rainy night, cell service is horrible at my house. I even have a booster, but it wasn't working. So I actually got up, walked down the patio, and when I did, I saw that amazing double rainbow. I called Damaris, I got her voicemail, I left her message. I went back to the couch, left her a message, and I went back and looked at that rainbow. Because it was beautiful and powerful, and rainbows are interesting. If I back up a little bit, when I gave the eulogy for my mom's funeral, I'd seen the rainbow on the way to the airport. I was in California, I was flying back to Indiana, and I had seen a rainbow, a partial rainbow that day. There was clouds, and it was just a little bit, and it was one rainbow. And I remember someone telling me that rainbows were attached to heaven. And through that story, I knew that was my dad welcoming my mom into heaven. I am religious. I believe in God. I believe in heaven. And I knew that was a sign, right? That she was okay, that he was there, and they were together again. And that was what she wanted. They were married for 51 years. They were amazing people, an amazing couple. And so when I saw that rainbow last night and it was a double, I knew it was a sign, right? I knew it was them, to the point where it's hard to put in words, but this feeling came over me. This feeling came over me and said, Callie, you've spent your time loving us, grieving for us. It's time for you to go and do what you need to do. And it was really, really powerful. And I remember just sitting there in the moment thinking, wow, this is what I needed, right? I've been looking for this. I've been going through this journey. And it was almost that my parents were really proud of me, of the woman I've become. And so I look back, and I didn't realize it until this morning, but 4 years ago yesterday, so if you go back September 30th and 4 years before that, I made a decision to change my life. I was in a marriage that wasn't serving me. There's no one to blame in it. We both got to a point where we stopped communicating, and we lost so much. And I realized that I was living a good life. I had a good life. I got to travel. I got to do things. Had a business, right? Life was comfortable. And I had a saying on my desk that said, is your good life getting in the way of your great life? Right? Is your good life getting in the way of your great life? And I thought that meant that a great life was making more money, having a bigger house, having a bigger title, having more toys, right? I had a good life, but the great life was just having more. And in that moment, I realized that maybe that's not what it meant. Then maybe the great life was becoming who I needed to be, being true to myself, honoring myself. And so I made a decision that day, September 30th, a very hard decision, that I was going to change my life and go through with something that I never thought I did. I ended up going through a divorce. And I did it because it was the right thing, right? One of my favorite books, A Return to Love, Marianne Williamson talks about sometimes in life relationships end because you have nothing else to learn from another person. And that's what I believe happened. We learned a ton from each other. There was a lot of great things that happened in that marriage, but in the end, it wasn't working for both of us. And it was better to move on. And I hate to say that, but that's where I was. And so the last 4 years from that moment that I left and going through the next year, going through a divorce, losing my dad a year later, and then, 2 years later, losing my mom. There's a lot I've learned. And I recently read a book. I just finished a book called Everything Happens for a Reason. And I was at Barnes & Noble. I picked it off the shelf and said, this is a book that I read. And it talks about there's 10 things that things happen in your life. And there's 10 reasons. Really powerful book. And as I looked and went through this, I realized there was a couple things of what's happened in my life. One was I needed to enjoy life more, right? I worked. And yes, I traveled, but I either worked or I traveled. There was no in between. I had fun, but I really didn't just embrace life, learn to do nothing at times, and just be present, right? That was missing in my life. I was always somewhere else. I wasn't present in the conversation. I wasn't present with the people I was with. It did affect my last marriage. I always wanted to be somewhere else. And so learning this art of being present, of living life now, not worrying about what happened in the past and the regrets, right? Which is hard. It's really hard. And not worrying about the future. Having a plan, but executing now and letting go of exactly how it looked like, right? That was so important. And having gone through the divorce and losing both of my parents, I realized that life is to be lived now. Right? It's not okay just to go through the motions day to day, but I needed to learn how to live, how to really enjoy life, embrace the people I'm with, embrace the situations. And that really came to me last year. And that's why I started the Joy of Journey, because I needed to find happiness. I needed to find joy in this process, right? I remember I was talking to the CEO of our company, and I remember saying to him, Cody, the day my mom died, right? People say the 40s are the best years of your life. They've been horrible. I've been in them for 3 years. I've gotten a divorce. I've lost both my parents. And he said to me, Callie, someday you'll look back and these will be the best days and the best years of your lives. And they really are becoming that. And he said, it's because it's the person, because of what you're going through and the person you become. That's why they're going to be the best years. And none of us want to go through misery and turmoil and all of that, but sometimes it happens. And so it's taught me to love life, right? To really love people. I've always loved people, but I'm sometimes easily annoyed, I'll be honest. And so one of the things I've learned is to embrace people for who they are. Right? See them in all their beauty and all their glory. Know that each of us is unique and special, and that we all bring different things to the table. That is not my place to judge people. My job is to love people, right? Not judge them. We are all different. And if we could realize that we're all different in this world, we'd probably be a lot nicer and a lot nicer on social media. Doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican or what color or what race you are. We are all people. We are all human beings. And Cody also taught me, right? We're all the same because we all have a need to be loved and to love, right? And if we can just love others, and that's what I've learned. And so going through this, right, it was this big sign yesterday that it's time to move forward. And through this process, I've really been I've been reading a ton, right? I set a goal to read 50 books this year. I'm already at 42. I read 25 last year. And part of this whole is, who am I supposed to be in this world? What is my purpose? Why am I here, right? And those are things that I think we struggle with. And I think it's something that maybe, people might call it a midlife crisis, but in the 40s, right, that really comes. Maybe you got it earlier, lady, but for me, that's what my 40s have been about. And so I've always been about freedom, right? Creating freedom, helping other people create freedom. But I think it's bigger than that. And I have to tell you, all of you have reached out to me and have told me that I inspire you, or that the joy of journey has inspired you. Thank you, because there's been so many times over the last 330 some days that I've wanted to stop, but I won't, because you guys, until you stop talking about it or tell me to, you stop, I won't, because I know why I'm here. And I've been reading a book I just started, my friend Susan recommended. It's called, I've got it right here, I cannot remember the title, Right Away and All at Once. Great book, just started it. And today he was talking about your life purpose, right? What is your life purpose? And I realized, reading that book, I came in, and it's right over here on my wall, that my life purpose, and finally, and now it may change, right? Life changes, but I finally think I've come on to it. And my purpose is to inspire and mentor people to find and live their great life. To inspire and mentor people to find and live their great life. And what is that great life again? It's the difference between the good life and the great life. The good life might be the life you're currently in. It's in that comfort zone, right? And the good life, it's where we're at. And I always, again, thought the great life was just having more money, having bigger house, having more of. And what I realized through this journey, the great life is about becoming you, about being connected, about being authentic, about showing up in the world to who you are, no matter what anyone else thinks. Because there's only one of you, there's only one of me. We each have a voice, and we're each here for something special. And so by me living my life in my full potential, if I can inspire and mentor other people to go out and find and live their great life, that is why I'm here. So here's the thing, and what I will tell you is I am going to live the great life. I'm going to learn more about me and what that means. I'm also going to be sharing different lessons, right? On a airplane not long ago. You guys all know I'm on the plane all the time, but I am staying home for 30 days, but I'm on the plane all the time. I wrote down this good life versus great life, and 33 lessons that I've learned during this process over the last 4 years of what it takes to have a great life. Just different things I do that have really taken my life from here to this point. And believe me, I don't have it all figured out. I think life is a journey and a process, and we're always learning. But if I can share with you some of the things that I've learned, I want to do that. And if you want to listen, I would love that. And if it's not for you, that's okay too, because I got to be me. And in this process, one of the things I realized that everything I do, I need to honor that, to inspire and mentor people to find their great life. And part of that is inspiring myself to find my great life. And so as I share this and as I do things, right, and I do have a goal to write a book. Many of you have asked about it. Not there yet. I'm getting there, because there's a few things I want to do first. And I will tell you that this new motto makes sense. It makes sense of where I'm at in my business, why I have spent my last 9 years with send out cards. And believe me, I am staying here. What the mission of this company does is completely tied into who I am, because it's about kindness. It's about accepting people. It's about reaching out and telling other people that they're amazing, beautiful, great, and how much you appreciate them, right? And when you do that, what you give out, if you just give to give, life truly gives back. And so I am excited. I really wanted to share with you guys on where I'm at and say thank you, right, for being on this journey with me. Many of you have been here the last 4 years, and maybe even before that. Some of you are newer friends, and I want to thank you for embracing me, for communicating with me, with sharing your stories with me, with telling me when I do inspire you or what resonates, right? Because it's the fuel and it's what you guys have given me to help me get here. And I have received so much love, so much support, more than I could have ever imagined and dreamed of, right? From my community, from my network. And I'm truly blessed. I am so, so blessed. So I am ready. I want to give back. I want to share with the world how to live the great life and how to change your life and really make your life the best. And so I will be sharing on here. No, I'm not going to coach or anything like that. I'm just going to live my life. And when I'm prompted and when I think about things, I'm going to come with you with lessons I've learned. So thanks. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything. And here's to you. Let's all go live the great life. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone.